Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the
conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome to the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. And that's right, we're broadcasting right here on SHR Media, conservative media done right. How is everybody doing? Let's see. As I told everybody, wasn't going to be live tonight. But what I did is I went and recorded a show for you. Why I'm not going to be on tonight is my wonderful, wonderful mother, who I haven't seen in almost a year, is flying in. Last time I saw her was 2 or 3 days after my dad passed away. So it'll be kind of rough in a good way. But yeah, so we're recording this, which I don't like doing, but I wanted to make sure I get a show out to you every Monday and Friday. That's right, every Monday and Friday right here on Rumble, through SHR Media, through YouTube, through Reaver Common Sense. Facebook is Jersey Joe and SHR Media. There will be no TikTok tonight. The shorts will be up shortly after this show airs. The podcast will be up a little bit early. And on podcasts, we are Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I'm still not used to all that over and over and over, trying to remember everything. I'm a blonde. And no friggin' Red Bull. But I got my good Dunkin' coffee. Not sponsored by Dunkin', but I got the coffee. I don't like Starbucks. I don't like high-end coffee. I like Dunkin'. Well, I'm not knocking Dunkin'. I just don't like those expensive, really nasty-tasting coffees. I like my convenience store coffees. The best coffee around is a Firehouse coffee. Not the brand Firehouse, but going to an actual Firehouse and having coffee that was made there. Best I've ever had. So what we're going to start out with, Judge and how the bloody blue blazes. I know I've heard it 1,000 times. I'm drawing a blank. Give me a second. Thank God for the internet. Let's see. Just make sure I say this right. Try it again. Judge Grenon. What the bloody blue blazes? I don't like that one. Man, sometimes just certain names just give me tongue twisters. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. So be it. I've always messed up names. For a career, I met God knows how many tens of thousands of people. Yeah, I never was good with names. Ingeron. We'll go with that. Judge Ingeron is under investigation for what happened before slapping Trump with $454 million fine. The New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct has launched a probe into New York real estate attorney's claim that he advised Judge Arthur Ingeron in the case against former President Donald Trump. Surprise! Something illegal happened underneath these corrupt judges. Doesn't shock you because it doesn't shock me. We've all known that this shit they're corrupt. And not because it's against Trump. It's the actions that they are taking, the cases that they're taking up are corrupt. These are not cases. And in the meantime, New York is overrun with violence. Murderers, rapists are being let go to walk amongst the street. But yet they're going to create crimes where there wasn't. The DOJ and FEC, who have hard-ons for Trump, looked into it and said there's no case here. Don't you think if there was a case, they would have done it? Seriously. So now they're trying to create cases to try to damage presidential candidate Donald J. Trump. And all they're doing is making him stronger. I've said it multiple times, and I find it funny that they haven't got it through their thick skulls because they think they're smarter than everybody else. That the more they attack this man, the stronger he gets. You now have Democrats. You now have Democrats that are even questioning the legitimacy of these cases and the legitimacy of the election of 2020. You're starting to see court cases finally going through that there was a lot of fucking shenanigans going on. But this judge, well, he's under investigation. An attorney, Bailey, told WNBC-TV that he had a courthouse conversation with Judge Aragon 3 weeks before the judge would slap Trump with a $454 million penalty for fraudulently inflating the value of his assets. Now, I have discussed it where there's been multiple, including the AG for New York, who has inflated the value of their house. Jon Stewart and countless others. The banks are not going to go with what the people say. They're going to go with what the experts that value these properties and houses and so forth. To the point that the bank came in and said there was no issue. We valued it, and that's what we came to. But the judge, the jackass that he is, thinks he's smarter than everybody else. Why? Because he has a piece of paper that told him he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, whatever the hell it was he spent. I don't know whether he went to a Cracker Jack box and got his goddamn law license, or whether he went to Harvard and got his law license. Either which way, I don't think he paid attention to law. The New York judges are barred from considering outside opinions in such a way when litigating a case. Yet Bailey said he discussed the legal questions at length with the judge. I actually had the ability to speak to him 3 weeks ago, Bailey said in an interview with the station on February 16th, just hours before the judge issued his ruling. I saw him in the court at the courthouse, and I told my client I need to go, he recounted. And I walked over and we started talking. I wanted him to know what I think and why. And I really want him to get it right, the attorney continued. Bailey said he knew Ingron after appearing before him hundreds of times in the course of his employment. He had lots of questions, about certain cases. We went over it, the attorney said. He said he explained to Ingron that ruling against Trump would have far-reaching implications beyond destroying the former president, including damaging New York's economy. We have seen businesses start looking into moving out of New York for fear of this exact situation happening to them. But of course, the governor claimed, this will never happen to you, which shows by her saying that this was a political witch hunt. If Trump were forced to pay a hefty fine, and shut down his business, it would make other companies concerned about similarities being targeted at any time, even when there were no actual damages or victim, as in this case. Same as the case that's going on right now with the hush money. If paying off hush money and using even different wording in your financing, do you know how many politicians would need to go to court? Did you know there is a fund set up for our politicians on a federal level to pay off for sexual harassment claims against them? We pay that. They don't. We pay that. We don't have any knowledge of what the requirements are. They hide that from the American people. But yet we're supposed to just blindly follow. Drives me up a wall. Trump's legal team raised the same points, which Ingron ignored in his verdict. He told him at the beginning of the case that he already found Trump guilty. He said it at the beginning of the case. In a later interview with WNBC, Bailey walked back his claim slightly, saying they didn't even mention the word Donald Trump during their conversation. However, the attorney admitted that it was understood exactly what they were discussing. Well, obviously, we were not talking about the Mets, Bailey said. According to New York State rules of judicial conduct, a judge shall not initiate, permit, or consider ex parte communications or consider other communications made to the judge outside the presence of the parties or their lawyers. Well, Ingron would be allowed to obtain the advice of a disinterested expert. It would require notice to everyone involved in the case with a chance to respond. Al Baker, a spokesman for the state's Office of Court Administration, denied that the judge had broken those rules. The decision Judge Enron issued February 16 was his alone, was deeply considered, and was wholly uninfluenced by this individual. Bullshit. The problem is why they're not supposed to do it, whether he did or didn't get influenced by this lawyer. It creates the appearance of being influenced. And when it comes to the law, that appearance, when it comes to prosecutors, defenders, judges, the appearance is enough to cause issues. Here in Florida, a judge can be removed just because of an appearance of bias. He doesn't actually have bias, just an appearance and a fear of not getting a fair trial. That judge should be and has to be removed. I don't know New York rules and laws on judges, but I'm going over the article, talking what it's talking about, going by my experience, this judge has shown either a deep stupidity, a deep ignorance, or a willful disregard for the law. He has given the appearance, if not, he has been, well, he didn't get persuaded by that lawyer, but it gives the appearance of interference. Maybe he had an issue with that lawyer no one ever knew. And by him speaking up, that convinced the judge to rule against Trump. We know he didn't, but, it gives the appearance, and that's the issue. It's a whole smoke and mirrors here. And you can't just blow shit off. Bailey said he is not a fan of Trump, but that does not necessarily mean he's telling the truth. After all, he's the kind of attorney who had his law license suspended for allegedly telling a party in a case that they should just kill themselves, and an appellate court found in 2019. Still, everything about Agron, how he applied the law, was questionable, even without Bailey's accusations. It is clear that anti-Trump zealots in New York, including Agron, Democratic New York Attorney General Letitia James, blatantly targeted the former president. She ran on the platform of she will target and get Trump. She ran on that. That was her platform. She's biased. Doesn't care whether he was innocent or guilty. She was going to get him. That's all that mattered. Attorney General James brought the civil lawsuit, and Enron dutifully imposed a ridiculous penalty that would have greatly reduced Trump's wealth had it not been lowered to a $175 million cash bond. They did this without much to go on besides criminalizing a common business practice that is part of the dance between borrowers and lenders. Enron may or may not have acted on Bailey's advice, but it's crystal clear that the judge had a mission that had nothing to do with justice.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back. Again, you're listening to the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on SHR Media through Rumble. Reaver Common Sense through YouTube. Facebook through, damn brain fart, Jersey Joe and SHR Media. They think people are stupid. They're treating us like we're stupid. Then you have, all these cases are really showing their true intentions. Jack Smith's team admits they tampered with key evidence in Trump's case, misled the court about it. Another surprise. Not surprised. A new document that has surfaced in connection with former President Donald Trump classified documents trial has revealed an issue some experts say could become important. For those that don't know, the trial now has been suspended indefinitely. It had a May 20th, and with all the motions and everything, waiting for Supreme Court, not going to get it started in time. And with this coming to light, now evidence has to be looked at, whether it's admissible or not. Well, it could also, the judge could say, because of this revelation, admitting by Jack Smith's team, whether intentionally, unintentionally, they tampered with evidence. evidence that showed Trump probably was innocent the whole time. Jack Smith doesn't give a shit. But we're also looking at Jack Smith may have been appointed illegally. There's a whole string of things that are wrong with this case alone. But special counsel Jack Smith has revealed that at some point, after boxes of documents were seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, the order of the documents changed, which the court did not learn about until now. The revelation was contained in a new court filing. The filing concerned a claim for... that's all, folks. The filing concerned a claim from defendant Walt, we'll just call him Walt, that he needs more time to know which documents seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate were in which boxes and the order of the documents in the boxes. And that does play into a lot on Trump's case. And the filing admitted the current order of documents in the boxes does not match scans that were made earlier. Now, Trump and his team have said that he didn't keep it by, and I think it goes over later in the article, it didn't go by whether this is classified, this isn't classified, this is top secret, this is your mama, whatever. It went chronological order, which would change a lot of things because if it's chronological order, you may not always know that you're going to have top secret in there. It's not the first time a fucking president had this issue. That's what pissed me off. We had a vice president who did not have the ability to do this. We had a senator at the time who had to steal the top secret documents to get them out, had them in his possession at home. And how did that turn out? Oh, yeah, he's just not mentally stable, cognitive enough to stand trial. It just goes to mind. Since the boxes were seized and stored, appropriate personnel have had access to the boxes for several reasons, including to comply with orders issued by this court and the civil proceedings noted above for investigative purpose, and to facilitate the defendant's review of the boxes, the Justice Department prosecutor wrote. There are some boxes where the order of items within that box is not the same as in the associated scans, the document stated. Then came a confession of misleading the court. The government acknowledged that this is inconsistent with what government counsel previously understood and represented to the court. They lied to the court. They misled the court. And I've been thinking something since all this shit started with these cases. They can't be that dumb to think that convicting him is a good idea. They can't. So I'm wondering, because some of these issues that are popping up are very blatant, very obvious, that they purposely fuck these cases up. For whatever reason, with each one, they're fucking it up on purpose so they get tossed or whatever. Then it can be, well, he wasn't proven not guilty, but because of his technicality, it was thrown out. They've just been doing this to try to damage him. They can't think jailing him is the smart thing. They really can't. And they really can they? There's a whole question on that. It's and it went on. There are several possible explanations, including the above described incident in which the boxes were accessed, as well as the size and shape of certain items in the boxes possibly led to movement of items, the filing stated. For example, the box contained items smaller than standard paper, such as an index card, books, and stationery. which shift easily when the boxes are carried, especially because many of these boxes are not full. But the detail is a big deal because part of Trump's defense is expected to be that documents are placed in chronological order with no regard to classification markings, according to Just the News. Prosecutors and investigators should never tamper with or alter evidence in their possession, including the order of documentation in a box, because one never knows what may become relevant or crucial to a court or jury later in the case. Harvard law professor Dershowitz told the news outlet. An attorney for Trump's defense team at one point said, "This omission is stunning on multiple levels." No offense, do you expect them to say anything else? I mean, of course they're going to use that to their advantage. They're going to use this. And this trial has been suspended indefinitely. What was that? What the hell? Is DOJ that incompetent? Is DOJ that incompetent to make such a small error? Like I said, I wonder if they're not purposely tanking some cases just to try to damage him more by, he got it off on technicality, he's guilty. You know, they still want to go at that whole guilty bullshit. And then we have a prosecutor was paid by Democrat National Committee. I don't do good in mornings. I'm a night person. Prosecutor was paid by Democratic National Committee for political consulting before taking on Trump trial report. A leading prosecutor in the former President Donald Trump criminal hush money trial in New York was paid thousands of dollars by the Democrat Party 6 years ago, according to the report Monday. Fox News on Earth, Federal Election Commission records showing Manhattan prosecutor Matthew Connellingo was paid by the Democrat National Committee. Holy shit, people. The Manhattan prosecutor was paid by the Democrat National Committee twice during Trump's first year in office. FEC records show that the prosecutor received two separate payments from DNC Service Corp. Democrat National Committee on the same date, January 31st, 2018. The prosecutor was paid two identical payments of $6,000 for a total of, Mary math is scary, $12,000. The DNC, which declined to comment on the payment, said in an FEC filing the payouts were for political consulting. At the time, the prosecutor was the Deputy Attorney General for Social Justice under then New York State Attorney General Schneiderman. Why the fuck does everybody have so many fucked up names? Just kidding people before you jump all over. Just a quick reminder to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow. Throw comments on the if you want. There will be no live chat as the show will not be live tonight. Or as it's airing, it won't be live. In that capacity, Underwood sued the Trump Foundation, alleging the nonprofit had misused donation. The prosecutor worked under her at the time. He joined Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office in December 2022, according to the new news release from the prosecutor's office. So this guy has jumped around, and his sole thing has been to attack Trump, attack Trump, attack Trump. No, there's no bias in any of this. There's no political gamesmanship going on. Oh, the bullshit that just... Then they wonder why so many people nowadays are calling the DNC, Democrat Party, the politicians out. Because it's a fucking joke, people. It's a fucking joke. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back. You are watching the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless, or at least attempt to make sense out of the senseless. It's getting harder and harder every fucking day, people. It really is. And now it's announced that Michael Cohen will give his testimony on Monday. Stormy Daniels has finished her testimony. And there's a lot, even on CNN, saying she hurt the case. The whole case is predicated on Stormy Daniels, who was sued by Donald Trump, awarded, I've heard, anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000. But the amount doesn't exactly matter. And she refuses to comply with court orders. Think about that. She's being called as a credible witness who refuses and ignores a court order. Not appealing, none of that. Just absolutely out in the open says she refuses to pay it, will never pay it a day in her life. Stuck her middle finger at a judge. Has lied about this whole situation from start to finish. Oh, there was no relationship. There was no payment. There was no, not DNR. Damn, you know what I mean. She's lied about that. Oh, Michael Cohen forced me. All the conversations were with Michael Cohen. The prosecutors already brought people from the Trump organization and administration for and said, yeah, this was Michael Cohen dealt with that. Trump had no knowledge of it. It's been reported multiple times about that. And when I was going to get to them in a moment. And she has sat there and lied about everything. Oh, non-disclosure. That's the word I was looking for. Holy shit. She's lied about that. I did not want money. I wanted to get the story out. Oh, the money was a plus, so I took the money and signed the non-disclosure. Now, when she testified, she tried to hint that he raped her. I guess I shouldn't use that word. YouTube gets hair up their ass about it. But she tried to allude that it wasn't consensual. Testimony that should have never been allowed. Her testimony should have been stricken from the record. And really, the jury is now tainted with this information. You can't bring that information back once it's out. There should be a mistrial. And the chances of it in appeals getting thrown out are very high. You now have Michael Cohen, who's going to be testifying Monday, doing TikTok videos left, right, and center, selling merchandise based on the trial, got a shorter sentence on a 20-year sentence, only served 2.5 years. Convicted, not indicted, convicted serial liar, was sentenced to 20 years, agreed to testify against Trump, and was let out after like 2.5 years. So a convicted serial liar is going to testify. He's lied to Congress. He's lied in court. But no, he's telling the truth now. He's selling merchandise based on the trial to advance himself. He's doing videos. He's talked about how he's watched and read about the other witnesses, which taints his testimony even further. How Alvin Braggs has brought this case with just these two witnesses is beyond me. I know I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also not dumb as hell to go, let me bring two serial liars that have financial gain off of this. And one, well, got a shorter sentence because of it. Yeah, let me put them on the stand. There's a lot of experts saying Michael Cohen goes up and testify. That just ruined that torpedoed the case. It should be thrown out right then and there. Stormy Daniels, she should have been thrown out, or the case should have been thrown out as soon as they had her going into her life history, the supposed affair she had with Trump in detail, which had nothing to do with this fucking case. There's a quote from former Assistant U.S. Attorney Andrew McCarthy. It is a major problem for prosecutors. It's not a problem for Cohen's credibility because he has none. He is a convicted perjurer and fraudster whose current defense of his fraud conviction is that he wasn't telling the truth when he pled guilty. The guy's a serial liar. And that's my opinion. From what I've seen and what I've read and what I've heard, he is a serial liar. If he told me the sky was blue, I wouldn't believe him. If he told me water was wet, I'd have to go check because I would not believe him. ABC News published an article Sunday declaring Cohen's actions could be a problem, pointing out that Cohen has chimed in on former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker's testimony. Nobody sees an issue with that? He regularly rallied against Trump, has insisted the jury isn't bored, and can profit when followers shower him with gifts. I hate cold coffee. Oh, I hate cold coffee. I mean, I don't think any of these witnesses have been good for Alvin Braggs or the prosecution. You have one of the prosecutors was paid for by the DNC, has bias. His judgment's tainted. Michael Cohen's testimony is tainted. Stormy Daniels, she pretty much destroyed herself on stand. She's another serial liar. She hasn't told the truth about that. It depends on what the interviewers want her to say. Seems like that's what she'll say. DA's witness testifies Trump did not direct him on Cohen payments or repayments. Ex-Trump Organization controller Jeffrey McKinney is 10th witness in former presidential criminal trial. Former President Trump did not personally direct Trump Organization executives to set up reimbursement payments to former Trump attorney Michael Cohen, according to witness testimony Monday. Michael Cohen was a lawyer. Defense attorney asked former Trump Organization controller on Monday at the start of the fourth week of the trial. Sure, yeah, responded. And payments to the lawyers by the Trump Organization are legal expenses, right? Asked what is that? Dove? Yes, said McConnell. President Trump did not ask you to do any of the things just described, correct? He did not. Trump is in Manhattan on the fourth week, yada, yada, yada. McConnell, who served as the Trump Organization controller for more than 2 decades, took to stand Monday, where he was grilled by both the prosecution and the defense team. He testified he was directed by former Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Weiselberg to reimburse Cohen with $35,000 per month payments, with the last being sent to Cohen December 2017. He also described that Cohen was initially reimbursed through a trust before switching to payments from Trump's personal account. An email from McKinney to Cohen was entered into evidence, which showed the controller replying to Cohen and confirming that checks would have to be sent to the White House to be signed by Trump. Cohen was paid a total of $420,000, according to the testimony, a sum that was grossed up so Cohen wouldn't lose money through taxes. His testimony during cross-examination bolstered the Trump's team's defense, with McConnell outlining that the 45th president did not have an active role in the reimbursement to Cohen. Surprise, surprise. Let's go. Hope Hicks, another prosecutor, witness. I was thinking, you got to understand, all these witnesses are for the prosecutor that I'm showing. And they're giving testimony that's helping Trump. I like the one headline. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg should turn himself into authorities for impersonating an honest lawyer. He's the type of lawyer that give lawyers bad names. There is good lawyers out there. There is lawyers with morals, with a boundary, with a limit. And I could respect them. It's cocksuckers like this that gives them a bad name. In an epic miscalculation that backfired spectacularly, prosecutors in the Manhattan hush money trial of Donald Trump called Hope Hicks to the witness stand. The moment cross-examination began, this misbegotten case against the former president began to collapse. Hicks, who served as press secretary during the 2016 presidential campaign, explained that Trump's motives for suppressing salacious stories was to protect his wife. Absolutely, I don't think he wanted anyone in his family to be hurt and embarrassed about anything on the campaign. He wanted them to be proud of him. So he didn't try any election interference. Man. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Democrats screaming about election interference. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. They've been for decades. The account by Hicks demolished District Attorney Alvin Bragg's primary claim against Trump that he paid porn star Stormy Daniels for her silence with the intent to benefit his campaign and thereby influence the election by unlawful means. To the contrary, it was nicely collaborated. The findings of a federal investigation that no crimes were committed or campaign finance laws broken because there was another purpose for the non-disclosure agreement that Daniels signed. Like the prosecution witness before her, Hicks disparaged Bragg's planned star witness Michael Cohen, Trump's one-time personal lawyer. He used to like to call himself Mr. Fix-It, but it was only because he first broke it. But that remark is tame compared to the other divisive comments that had been leveled thus far at the insufferable Cohen. who is a convicted liar who went to that prison. It was foolhardy for Bragg's legal team to call Hicks a rank amateurish. You know what I mean? Don't want that. Mistake. Her testimony was redundant and unnecessary, but under the theory that no dead horse will be left unbeaten, prosecutors seemed determined to have her tell the jury what they already knew. If polling data is correct, Americans are offended by this big top spectacular. They resent seeing the leading candidate for president taken off the campaign trail and tied up in court by partisan enemies. Hicks confirmed that Trump was aware that Cohen paid off Daniels to end what can fairly be described as aggressive blackmail demands. When the election drew near, Daniels ratcheted up her greedy scheme to profit from Trump by threatening to go public about a supposed affair, which he denied. Not incidentally, she renounced the proposed trust. Then, in a head-spinning maneuver, she recanted her repudiation. The payments to Daniels, regardless of intent, proved to be a waste of money. While the National Enquirer never published her story, Hicks testified that the other news outlets did so in advance of the election. In the end, it didn't seem to matter much to voters who were more invested in policy ideas rather than personal issue. The unlikable, hated, despised, I add that stuff in, Hillary Clinton was also a factor. She ran her campaign half-assed. She just thought it was a given people were going to elect her. She took the people for granted, and she got it shoved up her prissy white ass. It is worth repeating that the jury already knows all about the Daniels transaction. It has been the subject of endless discourse by other witnesses since the trial commenced. This makes Hicks' testimony superfluous, and it proves nothing. Of course, Trump knew about the payments. He doesn't contest it. He says he followed his lawyer's advice, who handled everything. The payments made were not illegal. Non-disclosure contracts in exchange for silence are not unlawful. Killing negative stories violates no statutes. More to the point, it is not a crime for Trump to know about a non-crime. That would be a senseless cynicism. So where exactly is the crime? To quote the memorial line from Shakespeare in Love, I don't know. It's a mystery. The legal wrangling between two lawyers who executed a legal contract on behalf of their representative client is what attorneys do every day. It was booked in Trump's private business records as legal expense because that is what they were. Nothing was falsified, as Bragg claims in an indictment, but the DA wants to put Trump in prison for following his attorney's legal advice. Bragg must have skipped his law school class where the doctrine of impossibility was taught. You can't pick an empty pocket, nor can you unlawfully influence an election after the election. In his charges, Bragg contends that Trump falsified business records in 2017. Let me say that again. In his charges, Bragg contests that Trump falsified business records in 2017. But the presidential contest occurred in 2016, making it impossible to even complete the intended crime for which he stands accused.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
That's right. You listen to the Reaver Common Sense right here on SHR Media. You can find us on Rumble and Facebook. You can also listen to the show through YouTube on Reaver Common Sense and also Facebook Jersey Joe. The live shows are streamed live on TikTok every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show is pre-recorded, and I will be back Monday live at 9 p.m. What are we going to do, people? What are we going to do? This country is going to fucking hell. It just, I don't know. President Joe Biden finally sat for an interview with CNN, but in doing so, delivered a major and easily fact-checked lie about the economy he inherited from President Donald Trump. I don't hear CNN flipping out about it, that he outright lied. During his Wednesday interview with Network's Aaron Burnett, Biden was asked about his economy and the possibility of more action by the Federal Reserve, which has raised interest rates repeatedly to try to rein in the inflation. God damn, I can't speak this morning. That started soaring after Biden took office. They hope they're going to get a rate cut, Burnett said. Yeah, well, but I mean, no president has had a run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%, Biden exclaimed. Let's see if just play this little tidbit. All right.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office.
There it is. His own words. Creating jobs and bringing down inflation. Biden's claim is not only simply wrong, it is way off. Indeed, the last time inflation rates were anywhere near 9% before Biden's term was back in 1981 as President Trump worked to fix the horrendous economy left to him by Jimmy Carter, according to a table compiled at the U.S. Inflation Calculator website. But while Ronald Reagan's 9% was on the way down from Jimmy Carter's heights, the table shows Biden is simply wrong that the 9% rate he saw in 2022 was in place during Donald Trump's years in office. The highest inflation rate the country saw when Donald Trump was in office was 2.9. Not 9, 2.9%. And unlike Reagan, Biden didn't even start seeing higher rates until his second year in office when rates started to climb. According to the table, Joe Biden simply does not have the successful record racked up by either Reagan or Trump. The highest rate Biden has seen thus far was the 9.1% in January of 2022 during his years in office, and the country has had inflation under 2% for only 2 months, the first 2 months of his presidency. Meanwhile, under Biden's administration, the country has had an inflation rate of more than 2.5% or more than 40 months, 5% more for 24 months, and 7.5% for more than 11 months. Former President's son, Eric, blasted Biden for his obvious lie, jumping to X and proclaiming, "What a clown!" Oh, I forgot to stop sharing. So you didn't have to look at my mug for that article. He's lied and lied and lied. And the Democrats are supposed to have a problem against presidential liars. But they've been fucking quiet. Silent. Said nothing about the countless lies Joe Pedo Biden has said. I don't understand it, people. I really don't. How everybody can be so fucking quiet, but they're so outraged. When Trump doesn't even lie, they're outraged. I just... Real quick, you want to take a look. Biden's DHS will start issuing ID cards to illegal immigrants crossing the border this summer. Illegal immigrants will be getting an ID. Now, they say it's not a federal ID or an official ID. Our federal government is handing illegal immigrants IDs. You know what's going to happen. They take those. They got an ID. Let me get a driver's license. I got a driver's license. Now let me vote. Now, I forgot about this article. Articles of impeachment drawn over Biden's withholding of Israel aid for political reason. Finally, some Republicans got some balls. Articles to impeach President Joe Biden over his decision to withhold aid to Israel for political reasons are in preparation. It was announced Thursday by Representative Corey Mills, Republican from Florida. Biden's decision to withhold bombs from Israel is concerning due to its political implication. Biden's base wants him to defund Israel. Now, this package was passed by the House, the Senate, and signed by Joe Biden. Ukraine got all their crap. Ukraine has done some horrific crimes against its war with Russia. But all of a sudden, he doesn't want Israel attacking the last stronghold of Hamas. I wonder who's in control of Biden. Hamas seems to be telling Biden how he's going to be president. Now, if you remember, let's go back to 2019. Democrats accused former President Donald Trump in 2019 of withholding military aid for Ukraine for alleged political reasons. These are the same accusations made against President Trump, which resulted in his impeachment by Democrats. The same must happen for Joe Biden, which is why we're drawing up articles of impeachment now. They will make excuses. They will kick their feet. They will protect Joe Biden, which I think will hurt them even more in the long run. Trump did not do it for political reasons. Trump did it because he wanted dirty politics taken out of Ukraine. Joe Biden forced Ukraine to fire a prosecutor that was investigating his son's company who he worked for. He withheld money, and now he's withholding approved weapons for Israel because of political reasons. People, and the Jewish people, if you vote for this cocksucker, shame on you. The guy's trying to destroy the only country, the only Jewish country, and he's trying to destroy it. In the middle of a fucking war, he's withholding weapons from them to help terrorists who attacked Israel. Plain and simple. Everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you all Monday.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.